is your old mate Big J, and I'm here with DiBella, one of the promoters of Haney Kambosos too. Mate, welcome back to the country.
Good to be here, man.
You must be pumped for Sunday, mate.
You know, I'm pumped because I expect a much better fight. I expect the fight we didn't get the last time, but it's going to be up to George. It's going to be up to George Kambosos to make this a better fight.
Absolutely.
And after the way the last fight went down, I believe he's going to make that happen.
Yeah.
And he needs to throw caution to the wind. He needs to get past Haney's jab. He needs to make Devin uncomfortable, and he needs to sell out. He needs to do things he didn't do the first time. But I know this kid, and he's a warrior, and he can't be happy with that last performance. There's no way in the world that George isn't going to fight a different fight, and I believe he's at least going to go down on his shield if he goes down. But if he fights the most aggressively and smart as he can fight, he can make this a real fight. But it's going to be up to him.
Absolutely. How do you feel having this at the iconic Rod Laver Arena?
You know, I got to promote a stadium fight in Melbourne, and to be able to go into this historic venue, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, and by the way, this is the right venue for this fight. You know, the last fight, we expected fireworks, and we didn't quite get fireworks. We got technical brilliance by one fighter, and we got a very frustrated Australian Greek on the other side. I think that frustrated kid is going to redesign his game plan, and I think he's going to throw caution to the wind. And I think if he throws caution to the wind, we're in for a fun night.
Sorry, mate. No, go ahead, bro.
Do you think people underestimated George? Do you think they forget what he done with Lopez I mean,
you can't judge a guy from a performance, from one performance. And especially since, honestly, Devin is brilliant. Devin is technically brilliant. He is one of the best boxers in all of the sport. And very, very likely, in my mind, the most talented lightweight in the world is Haney. I told George and Jim Kambosos before that fight, that wasn't my recommendation to fight Devin, because his style is very difficult to beat. And his style may be very difficult for George to beat again. People may be right about that. However, do not underestimate George's balls. Do not underestimate George's tenacity. Don't underestimate his warrior spirit. Those things are going to cause him to fight differently, and they're going to make this a much better fight. So I'm not predicting any result. I'd be crazy to. He got beaten almost every round in the last fight, but he didn't sell out. He didn't go to the wall to make Devin as uncomfortable as Devin can be.
Didn't go life and death.
What?
Didn't go life and death.
He's got to do that. And if he does that this time, I think you're going to see a very different fight.
I think he has to
Anybody that's expecting the same kind of fight from last time is just wrong. It's not going to be that. It's going to be a much better fight.
He's got to turn into another great Australian legend, Jeff Fennick. He has to fight.
He's got to fight
like that style. Like
he's got to fight without regard for his well-being. He's got to. He's fighting a guy that you can't box with. You have to make Devin uncomfortable. Devin is too good to box with him and think that you're going to be able to technically outclass him. That's not going to happen. George needs to make him uncomfortable. George needs to make it a brawl. George needs to get inside, and he fucking better know that. And I think he does. I think he does.
And with the more intimate crowd, you think that's going to get behind him? Because you only fit 14,000.
Anybody who doesn't come to this is nuts, because this is a better card than the last card. The Maloney fights have better opposition. They're both in very meaningful fights. The Trinica Johnson fight with Susie Ramadan is not only the best fight you can make, female fight you can make in Australia, one of the best female fights you can make in Australia, it's one of the best female fights you can make in the world. So Absolutely. This card is loaded, and I always prefer a smaller venue. The bigger the venue, the less the experience, in my view. So when you come to a place like this is going to be intimate, it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's a great card. And it's going to be a way better fight than the last time.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.